From thrilling actions on the field to electrifying action in the world of sport, we have got all the excitement you can handle on Game On. I am Onyinyechi Obaro. Welcome to another edition. I am standing in for Babatunde Koiki, and you know you're in good hands with me on the show. Of course, we've got exciting action at this time to unpack, with all eyes set on the 2024 Ballon d'Or as we await who will be crowned the awardee for the 2024 season. We already hear rumors. Of course, this will be the most watched Ballon d'Or ceremony ever in the history of football. So, France Football, over to you to tell us who the 2024 winner would be. I'm not alone in the studios. I've got with me, on my far right, I've got Okpeoluwa Adebari, of course, my colleague, joining me in the studio. Thank you so much, Okpe. Great to have you. Fine boy, no pimples.
Thank you very much, Onyechi. It's a pleasure to be here. Good to have you in the driving seat tonight.
Yes, I'm in the driving seat, and I'm hoping that I don't hit you guys, that I don't drop you in the ditch. But I'm sure, I know I've got that driver's license, so you're in great hands. We also have joining us in the studio here a veteran journalist, deputy editor for Sporting Life, the man who always looked dapper. He will look like he's very innocent, but not really. I've got Onyeuchi Unwachuku joining us in the studio at this time. Thank you so much. Innocent, but not innocent.
Yes, I'm as innocent as a dove.
Oh, really? That's why you have white on. It's
yes,
black.
yes. Good
right.
to be on the program. Man, you are looking dashing.
Thank you.
As always.
As the only lady in on this set, I should look better, you know.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Of course, I should do that. Thank you so much for joining me on the show tonight, Okpe and also Nwachuku. It's great to have you both in the studio. But let's talk about the most exciting thing for the weekend. What was the highlight for you, Okpe?
A lot of key moments, but I think for me, the one that's probably stood out, and I'm still thinking about, probably the results between Liverpool and Arsenal. It was a really, really thrilling encounter. I was looking forward to the tactical battle between both managers. I was not disappointed. But yeah, I think that was the biggest one for me.
Okay, Mr. Onyechi, which of them stood out for you? What was the highlight for the weekend for you?
Yeah, you know, when there are so many activities, you somehow you be confused. You find
Are you confused now?
No, I'm not. Maybe positively confused. If you had watched the El Clasico, you know, for football lovers, neutrals, you just love what Barcelona brought to the party against Real Madrid. You know, so young stars. I think apart from Lewandowski, the average age of the Barca team is somehow around 2021. Rafinha, the captain, is 27 years. So it gives you an inkling that, you know, the game belongs to the youths. And, you know, absolute delight to watch. Then coming back to the local scene, Heartland and Remo Stars, you know, Amoneke trying to prove a point that he has what it takes, you know, despite the fact that he was not given the job of the Super Eagles. The Remo Stars have been quite brilliant in the past 2-3 seasons. So everybody thought that the list would have been a draw, but Heartland won that game. So that was part of the highlights for me. All
right, part of the highlights for you. I think you both. Are you from Ghana, or are you from Cameroon, or are you from Gambia? I'm wondering, because the biggest highlight for me should be that CAF judgment. Come on, the verdict for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
The suspense, you know, the suspense was too much. We knew
to go your way.
To go our way.
It had to.
It had to. You know, because the Libyans knew, you know, they actually thought that they were going to walk us over. So when it didn't happen, they already knew that CAF will award the game to us. And from what we gathered, they didn't even send enough representation. They just sent one man who completed.
Don't let the cat out of the bag right now, because we're going to deal with that issue. But it's my highlight. Don't take it now. Don't take the shine now. It was my highlight for the weekend.
You have the floor. You have the ball.
Yes, I do have the ball. And remember, it was a win-win situation for the senior men's national team and the senior women's national team. Yes, the Super Falcons had a 2-0 win against Algeria for that first leg of their international friendly. So before we go into football, let's go touching other sports on the Nigerian scene. I will settle from Scrabble for all those who know the mind games, the letter games. Nigeria reaffirmed its dominance in Africa for the Scrabble Championship, where Oluwatimileyin Doko, he clinched the title of the 15th African Scrabble Championship in Kigali, Rwanda. Over 4 days, 10 countries, including Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Ghana, they all competed in 32 rounds of intense play. Oh yes, intense play. But one man stood out, Doko, who previously won the West African Scrabble Championship in 2023, secured victory with a round to spare, finishing with 7 wins out of 8 games on the first day. He continued his strong performance, defeating fellow Nigerian Abdulmumin Jimoh in a multiple round. But at the end, Doko recorded 24 wins and an impressive cumulative score of 2,082 points. This marks the 14th time a Nigerian had won the championship following Enoch Nwali's victory 2 years ago. Let's just leave the Scrabble thing for Nigeria because they're dominating the play. And I'm happy to hear a new name, Oluwatimileyin Doko. We've always known about a particular name for Scrabble when it comes to Nigeria, but good step in the right direction for Nigeria to come, join this championship at this time on the continental stage. Nwachukwu.
Yeah, I mean, absolute delight. I think it was the most trending story for us, Nigeria, apart from football. And I remember, when I saw this result, I remembered what the president of the Nigerian Football Federation told me in Ghana. We didn't pull our weight at the African Games. Yeah. And he gave some excuses that they were not allowed to select enough players, and the players they have, our players, are not early starters. They build their way into the tournament, and the format for the African Games was an abridged format. So by the time we start gaining momentum, that tournament would have ended. And I think from what has happened in this African Championship, the president was quite, justified. And when you have young players at the level of Oluwatimileyin winning the African Championship, then the future of Scrabble is very bright.
In good hands, of course.
And we just hope, because the president told me a lot of things, that we have the talent, but sometimes some issues here and there. He particularly mentioned the player in South Africa and the kind of equipment, the kind of structure, the kind of environment
made available to him.
That guy has. Even in the swimming pool, he has a lot of facilities that will aid his Scrabble career. If we can get that, then we can become. We have won the World Championship before. Yes. We can, continue to dominate the world scene.
Yes.
Congratulations to Oluwatimileyin.
Congratulations indeed in order.
Yeah.
Yes, we are hoping that he dominates going forward on the African scene, even the world scene. Yeah. Let's talk basketball right now. And it seems the defending champions are having no holds back this time around. Rivers Hoopers, they secured their 2nd straight win in the Nigeria Basketball Premier League Atlantic Conference by defeating Oluyole Warriors 77-43 on day 2. This game was played today. So building on their dominant 87-39 victory over Delta Force on day 1, Rivers Hoopers maintained their winning momentum, ensuring a perfect 2 out of 2 start in the league. Rivers Hoopers, I think, is it too early to say, just give them this title? Give them this title for 2024, okay?
Well, definitely, that would be you being enthusiastic, and you're right to be enthusiastic and optimistic about them, because, the record shows that they've been very dominant, especially in Nigeria, and for Nigeria, in Africa, representing us outside the motherland, and they've been very, very impressive. They've also had some very decent additions to the team in recent days, and look, it was a dominant victory, 77-43, if I'm not mistaken, and I think they're only just going to get stronger in the Atlantic Conference. So we're looking forward to more dominant displays from them, and probably most likely seeing them in the finals.
We thought that this was not going to hold. Remember the abridged format the last time, but this time it seems everything is going fine. 2 games already played.
Yeah, these clubs have not had, they have not tasted action for a long time.
Long time, yes.
So I figure out that the Basketball Federation would have done everything, possible to get this tournament going. You see, you have to do everything to attract a private sector. And if you don't put something on the table, they are not going to take you seriously. So I think the Federation is trying to send the right signal to the private sector. The Zenith, I hope I will not be booked. The Women's League have, a sponsor. Then the men should also have a sponsor, because you cannot play for nothing. There should be incentives for playing every tournament, prize money, the man of the game, and all that. Those are the things that will inspire basketball players to go for the best. So I think this is an avenue for the federation to show that they have put their acts in order. The past is the past. Maybe they have united, close ranks, and basketball should be the winner for all this kind of situation.
All right, I just want to believe you there, but I'm going to get more. There's just a cherry added to the cake there. When we speak to the media officer of Rivers Hoopers, yes, they've won 2 out of 2. We've got Queen Motsef joining us on the show right now. Thank you so much, Queen, for joining us on Game On.
Good evening, Oyenyechi.
Hello, good evening, Queen. Thank you so much for joining me. You've just made it 2 ladies against 2 guys, so I'm fine with that. I've been the only one on the set before. But great to have you join us on the show. It is 2 wins from 2 games played, and this means that there is no stopping the Rivers Hoopers this season, isn't it?
Well, no stopping us. That's our goal. Our goal is to defend our title. We know it's not going to be easy. The Atlantic Conference looked like the weaker of the 2 conferences, looking at the results coming in since yesterday, and looking at how much preparation the Savannah Conference teams have done before the tip-off for today. They just started playing today, unlike the Atlantic Conference teams. We started ours in Benin yesterday. So, but their conference looked tougher. I've been following games from there, and we've seen surprises. We've seen some surprises. We've seen some usual results. So, but talking about my own conference and the Rivers Hoopers, we want to remain dominant, and our goal for this season is to defend our title. We've been to the Basketball Africa League, like what Mwachukwu mentioned. We need to have that icing on the cake of which you look forward to when you're playing the league. So, but I think for the last 7 years, or last few years since 2019, the icing on the cake for Nigeria Basketball League is going to the Basketball Africa League. It's not even about winning the title and then winning some certain amount. It's about who wins the league and then get to represent Nigeria at the Basketball Africa League. So that's the one incentive, because the brand of the BAL and NBA in conjunction together, it's a great one. So every team wants to be a part of it. I can tell you for a fact that this season is going to be tougher, but we want to remain dominant. We've started off really strong with 2 wins out of 2 games. We still have 5 more to go. This is not even the most important part of the league. The most important one is the playoffs, and that's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. That will determine if we will still retain our league, which we are hopeful. We've done our business, like I will always talk about. We always want to do our business well. And we always ensure that behind the scenes, we get the job done, so that when you see it, you would understand that a lot of work have been put together by this team, and that is why they are doing well. We don't just half-baked put a team together. Most of us have been together since the BAL, since January. We've been together since January. So just a few additions, because a few left, and then we also need to get stronger, and then we had to beef up in some areas. So we've been together all through the year together, even at the Chief of Defense Staff competition that happened earlier this month, which we use as a preparatory tournament for this particular league. So we've put in the work, and why you're seeing us remain dominant like this is because a lot of work has been done, and we are not seeing the dividend out here.
Indeed.
Hi, Queen. First of all, it's always a pleasure having you on Game On. Let's talk about additions. One thing I can tell you for a fact is that I think Rivers Hoopers are very good when it comes to recruitment. So I've seen the likes of Sam Sani and Michael Okiki joining amongst other 5 or 6 players, if I'm not mistaken. But out of these additions, who are the key players who you feel that have now joined you will actually help and propel Rivers Hoopers to possibly winning, the league?
We cannot rule out Michael Okiki. We can't rule him out. He has national team experience. He also have experience from Africa basketball, playing so in some other parts of Africa. Like he recently played in Abidjan. So he also played in Benin. So he has experience playing outside of Nigeria. In the absence of not having a league in Nigeria, most of these players have to go out. They need to go out to play. You can't just stay idle all through the year. So he has that experience playing on the national team and also Africa basketball as well. He's one of the best point guards in Nigeria. You cannot rule him out when it comes to every game. So in the point guard position, he brings his wealth of experience. He also brings his leadership, which is quite great for us to go out there and also do well. Also, Samuel Sani is a young player, under 18. It's like 18 years of age now. He would have made the final squad going to the under-18 championship that went to South Africa. But I think they had some maybe bit of an issue or clearance issue or something like that. He couldn't make it. And if you've been following up our stories and the updates we've been churning out of the team, you realize that he has been top performer when it comes to rebounds, when it comes to block shots. That means he has sort of filled that area of the defensive player. He's a center. He's a center player. So we brought him in to also just tighten our area of defensive duties. So that's what he does for us.
Okay.
So while we brought in Okiki to make sure that the point guard position is tight, we also brought in somebody we know that, okay, behind the scenes or in the paint, he'll get you those rebounds, he'll get you those blocks, he'll get you those screens and all that. And not to forget our captain. We have our captain, Victor Anthony Koko. He's a veteran, he's a legend. So we're also looking at the future. We know that in the next couple of years, we don't know if he can still play 1 or 2 years anymore. So we are looking at filling in that gap where someone will be able to fill in for Coco if in the next few years he doesn't get to play or retire. This Samuel Sani will now step up into the place. So now we are gradually building up for the next generation of River Super. So I think these players, not to also forget Victor Sunday, who's also a point guard as well. So bring in both of them as well as Okiki. We are hopeful that, yes, they will do well. For Patrick, who joined us, he played for City Chiefs last year. He lost to us in Port Harcourt, but joining us has been really key. He's a very good forward player, very good from behind the arc as well. So these are areas that we felt that we really need to just touch on 1 or 2 players here and there and we'll be fine. So, but most especially having Okiki and also having Samuel Sani, who will also be a backup, and also not to forget Ikena, who also is also a defensive player as well.
If we leave you, I'm sure you're going to mention the whole roster. I'm very certain you mentioned the whole roster.
Oh, yeah.
But Mr. Onyewuchi has got something to say.
That's the new players, just new players. I'm not mentioning everybody. That's the new players I'm talking about.
Yeah, Quinn, it's good to hear from you. Absolute delight. Your passion is quite infectious, and we like it when you talk about basketball. But I want to get you talking on 2 key areas, facilities. We were debating here last week about the state of facilities of the 2 centers hosting both the Savannah and the Atlantic conferences. Hoopers, the best team from this country. They have, been exposed to the best facilities, playing in Rwanda. And, what is the state of the facilities where you are playing at the moment? And in the aspect of funding, are there assurances from the Federation that money will come in from the private sector soon?
I'll do a deep, I'll take a deep there. Really, this part of discussion is one thing I don't enjoy talking about. Why do I enjoy talking about it? Because I feel always disappointed where you've traveled across Africa. I've been to the Dakar Arena. I've been to the Kigali Arena. I've been to the arena in South Africa, and you've gone to these places, and when you compare to what you have here, you just shake your head and you'll be like, when would we have something like this? Although a few months ago, we had information that we'll be having a Lagos Arena soon, which I'm hopeful it would come up maybe next year or in 2026. So, but the facility, no, they don't even measure at all. We are far, far behind. Like, we are backward. We don't compare. The only thing we can actually boast of is talent and skill. That is what we have. But in terms of organization and facility, no. It's. I'm sorry to say, unfortunately, we're at zero. We're at zero at this point in time. So, but what we have in Benin, yes, it was used during the National Sports Festival. I don't think we also had, they also made use of this place during the Women's Basketball Championship, one of the faces. But so far, it's not really great. I'm just trying to be mindful, but truly, it's not great. Yesterday, we had issue of lighting. We had to play the basketball games without lights, and you know how important light is when it comes to playing basketball. It's sort of bringing that glamour and that extra flair to it when you're playing a game. You might play a game during the day, but you still need that light to sort of give it an extra touch when you're playing a basketball game. So we had issue of light and all that. So, but for today, this morning, the first two games we had the light back, even though it went maybe NEPA took light, I don't know. But it went off later. So, but those are the challenges that we are really facing. And I think if we can work on it, but proper structures, if we can have great facilities across the country, even though it's just one, two, I think we'll be perfect. We'll be great at it. We have a lot of outdoor courts around the country, thanks to the likes of the NDA, Masai Ujiri, but we can't really play basketball outdoor. Outdoor courts are maybe for grassroots basketball and all of that. So, but we want to play the league, we need an indoor. We need a very good indoor, and structure-wise, no. And then for other questions where you have.
All right, I think that network has been able to call Queen to order for me there. Interesting conversation indeed. Yes, she had to point out some very, very salient areas when it comes to infrastructure in Nigeria. We want to have a league. We should also have infrastructures, facilities, not playing a game, having to halt for because maybe you're in band A or B or C. No, come on. I think we can do better. I'm sure time not our friend. We should have allowed Queen continue. But thank you so much, Queen Mossep, for that update there. We're hoping that the Nigerian Basketball Federation can do better when it comes to league. You want to have a league, you should be able to prepare yourself for what the league entails. All right, before I go out of that, let me just give you the fixtures for the Savannah Conference there. We've got Nigeria Customs. They will take on Correctional. We've got the Nile University against Gombe Bulls. Canopilas will go against Boko City Chiefs, while we've got Bauchi Nets up against Plateau Rocks for the Savannah Conference. The Atlantic Conference, we've got Police Batons up against Delta Forks. Rivers Hoopers, yes, defeated Oluyole Warriors 77-43. We see the results on the screen there. Hoops and Reed defeated Ebu Comets at 64-47. While Kwara Falcons went 65-55 against Lagos Legends. So those are the results coming from the Atlantic Conference there. And I did reel out the fixtures for the Savannah Conference. Let's move straight into athletics right now. Ethiopia's Yomif Kayesha broke the men's world half marathon record in Valencia, clocking a time of 5:7:30 seconds to shave a single second off the previous mark. Kayesha's sixth appearance over the distance, the 27-year-old, the world indoor mile record holder, took control of the race from the 3-kilometer mark. Kayesha passed through 5 kilometers at 1338 milliseconds, 10 kilometers at 2712 milliseconds, and 15 kilometers at 4056 milliseconds when he broke away from the Kenyan pair of Daniel Maicheko and Isaiah Kipkoech Lesoy in order to secure the victory and beat the world record set by Jacob Kiplimo of Uganda in Lisbon 3 years ago. You can't stop the Ethiopians when it comes to marathons. But let's go to Formula One right now. On the grid is Ferrari's Carlos Sainz. He won his second race of the season and the fourth of his Formula One career on Sunday, taking the checked flag, the first for the Mexican Grand Prix. The Spaniard qualified on pole position, but initially lost the race, the lead to the Drivers' Championship leader, Max Verstappen, who started second. He was forced to wait for his opportunity in the opening laps as the collision between Williams' Alex Albon and Red Bull's Yoshi Tsunoda, I beg your pardon, he bought out the safety car. However, Sainz snatched his chance in the lap 9 as he drove down inside Verstappen's Red Bull to move up to pole 1 and did not look back. The rest of the race was relatively comfortable for him. The 38-year-old, he went all out in that drama unfolded behind him. He had to leave it and going all the way to pick a position there, while Max Verstappen suffered with those penalties. In the NBA for basketball, we have head coach Steve Kerr. He said the injury for Golden State Warriors superstar Stephen Curry is a bit worrisome because Curry picked up that injury after the 112-104 defeat against Los Angeles Clippers. He said the injury is concerning for him. The 36-year-old first limped out of the game in the third quarter when he received treatment for a twisted ankle. Curry, a two-time MVP, returned to the game 4 minutes into the fourth quarter, but immediately aggravated the issue and had to be helped to the locker room by teammate Gary Payton. Curry, who had an extensive history of ankle injuries, scored 18 points as the Warriors lost their first game of the NBA season. We've got Ivka Zubac and James Harden, both totaled 23 points for the Clippers. It was Zubac's second successive double-double, as the Croatian put up 17 rebounds with 6 assists to go with 23 points. So not a good day for the Golden State Warriors. This is a big miss for them, Stephen Curry.
Yeah, definitely huge blow for them. Don't forget that this season there's no Klay Thompson.
I'm telling you.
I mean, Iguodala hasn't been with them. Iguodala hasn't been with them for the last 2 seasons now. Draymond Green is also just getting back from injury as well, so it's a bit topsy-turvy for them. But you know, talking about Steph Curry in particular, don't forget that he didn't have a full preseason with the Warriors because he was on Olympic duty with Team USA. And then again, due to his playing style of close dribbling, he does have a lot of ankle issues, and it has affected him over the years. But hopefully, this is not too serious, and they can get him back as soon as possible.
We are hoping that the Golden State Warriors will be able to get their star man back as soon as possible. We wrap up the first session of the show. We return with football. Do not go anywhere. You want to know where Ademola Lookman did end in the final rankings of the Ballon d'Or? We'll tell you in the second half of the show. Game On continues. Welcome back. You're still watching Game On. We just wrapped up the first session of our show. Non-football related matters offered to you there, but it's time to talk football at this time. I remember asking Okpe and Onyewuchi their highlight for the weekend, and they mentioned football. My highlight also was a football-related story, so it's time to go deep into that conversation right now. Yes, I still have Okpe Oluwadebari and Onyewuchi Nwachuku joining me in the studio. The Nigeria Premier Football League for the matchday action. We saw for matchday 9, Lobi Stars, they edged out Bayelsa United with a 2-1 victory. Osi Martins opened the scoring in the 20th minute, but Bayelsa United's Yahya Ibrahim leveled that game with a penalty in the 30th minute. Martins struck again in the 57th minute, securing the win for Daniel Omokachi's team. They have been waiting for that win, so they got one right now. Meanwhile, defending champions Enugu Rangers, they were held to a 1-1 draw. We're wondering what's really happening to Enugu Rangers. They had to draw against Kwara United at that Kwara United Stadium in Ilorin. Shola Abdul Rahim gave the home side an early lead before Kingsley Maduforo's equalizer balanced the score, ending the game in a draw. But let's go through the results right now. Aimba and Ikorodu City, that game ended in favor of the home side. Aimba with 2-1. Heartland of Ore, yes, they picked up that win against Remo Stars. Amuneke, we thought Finidi George was leading, teaching them how to get the job done, but it seems they're picking up. Yes, they're running after him. Nasarawa United and Kano Pillars, 1-0 to United against Sunshine Stars, ended in favor of the home side with 3 goals and 3 points in the bag. Rivers United, where did they go wrong against El Kanemi Warriors without Zuberu? They had to draw there. Shooting Stars went 2-1 against Aqua United. Lubi Stars, Omokachi getting that win there against Bayelsa United, while Kwara United had to draw against the defending champions. Let's see the bottom and top 6 of the Nigeria Premier Football League as it stands after these games. We have the likes of Rivers United still staying at the top of the table there. Remo Stars following suit. Aimba in 3rd, Plateau United in 4th, Abia Warriors in 5th position. El Kanemi Warriors still sitting at 6th position over there with 13 points garnered. But is it too early to say the relegation zone and also the running for the title is too early, right? Looking at the bottom 6 of the Nigeria Premier Football League at this time, is it too early to make judgments?
Yeah, too early. Just 9 games. We have 38 games. So what it means is that we have 29 more games to play.
Yes.
And instructively, El Kanemi and Rivers, that played last weekend are the only two teams that are yet to lose a game. Even the Academy have drawn more matches. That's why they are not in the top 4, but they are yet to lose. And just like you said, Aliyu Zuberu is not with the team, and yet they are grinding out results. So it shows that they have a good structure.
Yes,
no man is indispensable in the team. So that's what it shows, and it's good. It's good. It's unlike what happened the other time when Ilechukwu was saying because he wasn't around, that's why Canopy Lash. We don't want to hear something.
We don't want to hear that. I join you.
That's business. If you're not there, then you should have quality assistance.
Of course.
A good coach must have quality assistance. Yes. No man is an island. So.
I mean, in recent weeks, we saw that with Yema when Finidi was with the Super Eagles. Daniel Ogumodede when he's
You're even
not
forgetting
around,
Ikorodu City. Ikorodu City have their assistants at the moment right now. At the moment.
So,
and they're doing so very well. So you should be able to have good hands at the back, to join you, show that responsibility. But I'm sorry about that bottom 6 of the Nigeria Premier Football League. Since the producer wants every of that team to be on the relegation zone.
No,
but it's okay. But recent development we did hear today, coming as a shocker, oh my heart. Sounding boom, boom, boom. The Nigeria Premier Football League has suffered a significant setback as one of its official broadcast partners has reportedly terminated its 5-year deal worth over 1 billion naira. The termination is coming just months after a signing in November 2023. The Nigeria Premier Football League deal aimed to promote the Nigerian League and increase its visibility. When it was brokered, the Nigerian Football Federation President Ibrahim Guzo expressed optimism that the partnership would drive interest in the domestic football scene, also allowing for foreign leagues like the English Premier League, the way we have a broadcast. We see the games every day, every weekend when they are played. That's what the Nigerian Football Federation President thought would happen. But this news, where do we go from here?
Well, like when administrator was asked after a tournament that where do we go from here, the man said he's going home from here. So if you're asking me where do I go after the program, I'm likely to go home. Of course. But on the more serious
note, talking about the NFF now.
More serious note, that's on the lighter note. The thing shook all of us, but the latest we had is, I think it's a day full of drama. Yeah, you were correct. There was the story that then what I'm just reading now is that. An inside source from StarTime said they just issued notice of termination. That if the MPFL fails to do the right thing, those are the right things are what we don't know. Things are shrouded in secrecy. I'm
really in the clouds right now. I'm not getting clarity, but I really would love to get clarity. Let's have the head of program for Wazobia, I beg your pardon for that cut. Of course, we've got a veteran, China Acheru, joining us via Zoom. Thank you so much, China. With the gray hairs you've got, I'm very sure wisdom loaded, we packed tonight. I really need to make sense of what I hear right now for the Nigeria Premier Football League. China, this deal, when it was brokered, it was aimed at promoting the Nigerian League, increase its visibility. What will be the long-term impact of this withdrawal? Okay, he's saying that it's alleged withdrawal, that is just a notice. Okay, what will be the impact, long-term impact of this notice by this broadcast partner?
First things first, right? I live in a small town called Choba in River State, so I don't know how I can have clarity when you guys in the Center of Excellence don't have that clarity. So
you may be shocked. You may be shocked.
Let me continue. Okay, now here's the thing. I like the update which you brought, but when the news first came up, I'm like, how did they just terminate a contract that was signed? But now Onye is saying that they gave notice of termination. And the question is, why? And again, Onye says, like we all know, it's not just about him saying, we all know, a lot of things are shrouded in secrecy. We don't want to speak out. We hide details of contracts. If the right thing is done, what's the right thing? What's the wrong thing that is being done now? Then you ask, what's the long-term effect on the league, maybe even short-term? It's not too long ago that SuperSport pulled out as being broadcast partners of the league. We saw where that took us, right? We didn't have games on TV for a long time. All the money the club used to make from these payments is stopped. We couldn't pay prize monies in the league. We couldn't pay the league. We just ran a league on scholarship, so to say, because the clubs are just playing and for free. Now, when we got this deal some months ago, we were all excited. For some people, it was not the best for the league, but to others, it was, from where we are coming from, it's a step up, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps up. And now this. We're going to go round and round in circles until we get the details. But what we know is that if this Star Times deal ends, whether it's today, tomorrow, in 30 days' time, or whenever that notice terminates, it takes the league back. It really takes the league back, because for the past few months, we are able to see our games from different venues. We're able to stream our games, we're able to watch our games, which is one thing that every decent league should be able to afford, games on TV. We have been able to come up from that point where there was not a single game on TV in the Nigerian league to where we could see our games. Now we're going back. And of course, this deal came with money, which the clubs benefited from. Hey,
are you sure the clubs benefited from this? Because we heard a lot. We heard a lot, even clubs complaining that these selected games were not being made open for them to know who will be broadcasted, with the number of games that this broadcast partner did promise them.
We are the clubs really fighting for their games to be on TV. Onye is laughing. Our clubs really fight for their games to be on TV. Because I know, unless things have changed when I fell asleep and woke up, right? Nigerian clubs don't want their games on TV.
Indeed.
But they want the money. They want the money that they can get from TV, right?
Exactly.
So I'll be shocked if the clubs are saying, listen, football is about entertainment. We want to see these games. But for Nigerian clubs, it's about the 3 points. Let's fight for the 3 points first. And whatever comes up is their business.
Well, China, you asked why I was laughing.
Yes, I asked. Yes.
Obviously you know why I'm laughing. You know, a lot of things have happened. There are so many things I gathered that I may not have the way, because if I spill everything, there could be
just
problems.
off your mic there.
You know, there could be problems. But part of some of the things I gathered was that. From the part of the broadcast right owners, they were trying to, impose certain things on the MPFL, but in this situation, you have to gather fast from the other side, and they met a brick wall, and maybe in that frustration, they gave a notice. But you have been in this sector for a long time. Where did we go wrong? How do we do things in such a manner that is wired to fail? Things that work very smoothly in other places. Going forward, what do we need to do when we are signing contracts of this magnitude?
Yeah.
I think first things first, we have to strengthen our product. Every time we complain that the Nigerian League cannot get sponsors, but there's a program on TV that has about 30 youth in a room for 3 months, and they have lots of sponsors. Strengthen your product, and the sponsors will come. So first, we have to strengthen our product. 2, we must come out from the point of knowledge, right? Because if you're talking to a potential sponsor, right, what's your coverage like? How do you market your product? Because if we act like we are begging for this, then they're going to make demands that you cannot meet up. Now, Oye is saying they made some demand. Now, listen, if it was the EPL, for example, or La Liga, or even the PSL in South Africa, I'm sure the league can stand and tell a potential sponsor or potential broadcast right owner that this is what we want, because they have a product they can defend. Now, what's our product? That's the key thing we should ask ourselves. What's our product? So I think that we're going to keep doing this. We saw Super Sport. We have seen lots of them. But if we don't strengthen our product and strengthen the product, right, it starts from the state governments that finance the clubs. It starts from the sports commissioners that basically it continues from the sports commissioners that basically run the clubs. Then the club management that are basically non-existent, right? Then the players who don't see themselves as professional players except when they're being owed and they say, do you know we are professionals, you should pay us. Then, of course, we go to the fans who think that it's a do or die affair. It's not just one, it's the whole ecosystem. Even the media has their part in it. So we have to, as a united front, decide what we want to do to our football. Do you want to go forward? Do you want to remain where we are? Do you want to go backward? Because right now, I always say Nigeria, there's no football club in Nigeria. We just have a group of players who fight for 3 points every Sunday. That's what we do. We don't have football clubs in Nigeria. Because, I mean, let me name names, right? Even Remo Stars that people are praising, good stadium, good training facilities. That's just one aspect of football, your facilities. It's just one aspect. How does the whole country have just one stadium approved by CAF? A full country. So it just makes you know that we are just doing it because we feel it's something we must do. There is state government allocation we must get. There is ministry funds we must get. There is sponsorship funds we must get. But why are we doing this thing? Because we want to play football, or because we want to just excite ourselves? And really, we need to, I'm tired of saying let's tell ourselves the truth, because we all know the truth. We need to ask ourselves, what do we want to do with our football? Yes, what do we want to do with our football? I'm talking about the media, I'm talking about educating the fans, I'm talking about the players themselves, I'm talking about the club management that only begin to prepare for a game on Thursday. Because they know that there's 3 points at stake on Sunday.
Okay.
So we need to understand, yes, so we need to understand all of this. Listen, these guys should keep turning us around because they know that we, and that's the league, our football, they know that we don't know what we are doing.
Okay.
And until we begin to act like we know, we'll continue to get all of this.
Oh, we should go on with this conversation, but time not our friend. Thank you so much, China Acheru. In fact, your words of wisdom. I've been able to take one or two. If I'm put in that position now to head the Nigeria Premier Football League, I'll do something different, even with these words that you've dished out tonight. Thank you so much at this time for joining us on Game On.
The pleasure is mine.
All right, I appreciate that conversation. I'm hoping that this doesn't become a broken record. Keep telling them what to do right every single day, but we keep seeing the same result. But let's talk about something that can cheer us up a bit. The weekend verdict by the Confederation of African Football, the General Manager of Enugu Rangers, Amobi Ezeaku, he has praised CAF. The disciplinary committee of CAF will sanction Libyan Football Federation, awarding all 3 points to Super Eagles and imposing a $50,000 fine on them. This decision follows what you see on your screen right now, when the Super Eagles were held at the Al-Abaka airport for a long stretch of hours at this time, and they had to decide to boycott the game. Big decision, great decision, I would say, from the Super Eagles. And CAF found that Libyan Football Federation in a violation of multiple regulations resulting to a forfeit for Libya in the match originally scheduled for October 15 in Benghazi. Ezeaku, who represented Nigeria at a CAF hearing, called the ruling a testament to CAF's commitment to fair play and integrity. Let's listen to him.
The integrity of CAF is intact, and this decision is well reasoned, and I applaud CAF for that. The Libyan Football Federation respects the letters of Article 82 of the CAF Disciplinary Code. The answer is in the negative. So all of this culminated to that well-reasoned decision published on Saturday by CAF.
Amobi Ezeaku there, of course, representing Nigeria. Nigeria had men mount. Men mount in that hearing there. We had like 20 representing Nigeria and only one person from the Libyan Federation. Of course, they never saw it coming. They came prepared. By the end of the day, victory asata for Nigeria. Yes, 3 points, 3 goals awarded to my dear country, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So we're on 10 points right now when you look at that group standing, and I think it's fair enough. But let me give you another good news that will cheer you up. You know, the Ballon d'Or is on. The ceremony is ongoing. We waited and waited for where the only Nigerian who was nominated for the short list would finish in the final ranking. I thought it would be around, 7-6. Was I expecting too much, Okpe?
No, I don't think you were. I think everyone was actually expecting him to finish higher. But yeah, finishing 14th, that's not bad for Ademola Lookman. He had a very good season. talking about the calendar year 2023, scoring 3 goals in 7 games for Nigeria at AFCON, you know, being the first player to score a hat-trick in a European Cup final. That was absolutely amazing. He has continued the good form into this season. He's with double figures in goals and assists for Atalanta this season already. And he has been instrumental in our AFCON, in our 2025 AFCON qualifiers as well, being our best player. So arguably for me, he is one of the best players in the world. I think he deserved a higher finish for me in the rankings, but nevertheless, it's a good one for Ademola considering.
But if you look at all the rankings, Onyeuchi, we saw Bukayo Saka 21, if I'm correct. We've got Odegaard around the 20s too. But we saw Danny Olmo ahead of Ademola Lookman. Do you think that was fair enough, the rankings?
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes the rankings are neither here nor there. But for me, I thought that Ademola Lookman would be able to surpass the achievement made by Victor Osimhen, who was ranked among the top 10 last year. But I think everything depends on Lookman. He's 14th. Who says he can't break into the top 10 next season? So he needs to work harder. He needs to remain focused. And the young man has the ingredients. He has the right attitude. We have watched him closely in the national team. He comes very early to the national team. Despite playing regularly for his team, he's not one of those players who will come very late. You know, his attitude, even Gasperini, his coach, testified when he asked them to allow him, you know, discuss with PSG before the Lecce game. Gasperini said, "This is a boy that I like so much." And if a coach likes you, it means you are working very hard in training, you are giving me what you want. So I have confidence that Ademola Lookman could surpass this achievement. Okay, let's look at
who would be your top 3 before I'm waiting for the announcement, because you know we heard the old news about Real Madrid not boycotting these because they saw a rumor that Vinicius Jr. might not get it. Might be Rodri that will get it, but what would be your top 3 at this time?
Well, Vinicius, Rodri, and Bellingham.
So you're giving it to Vinicius?
Between Vinicius and Rodri.
I think it's Vinicius for me.
Or whoever gets it is fine by you?
No, it should be Vinicius. Any other person than Vinicius. If not Vinicius, maybe Dani Carvajal had a great season as well. Toni Kroos had a great season for his retirement season, in my own opinion. But I think Vinicius is worthy of that. If you want to take a look at not just team trophies, but individual laurels as well, I think Vinicius is the right
But
man.
for the fact that Real Madrid could come out to say that they boycott this...
I think Madrid didn't come out to say that.
Florentino Perez was really upset. He was upset that Vinicius Jr. would not have it. Reportedly, yes.
But at the end of the day, Vinicius is there at the ceremony.
It was clear to me that maybe people do not rate this award. For you to say... We saw pictures, we saw reports on social media saying that the names of Vinicius Jr. have been taken off his reserved seats.
These are normal things. You know, I think 3 weeks ago, there was a story that reportedly said the Ballon d'Or winner has been leaked.
Yes.
And gave it to Rodri. So these things happen. And until
the award is announced... come with his clutches and then pick the award?
Until the award is announced, we can't really say that this is the actual winner. So, but for me, just it's between Rodri, you know, because he won the best player for the last Euro, and the Man City won the Premier League, and Vinicius has been quite absolutely brilliant, and he has even continued from where he stopped. In spite of the racist agenda against him, he has been able to trudge on. He has, you know, posting very brilliant results week after week. And, you know, so. For me, between the two of them, anybody that wins, I'm comfortable.
All right, in the women's category, I'm not going to leave that, of course. We had Copper Queens from Zambia, the captain, Barbara Banda. She was voted 12th best female footballer of in that Ballon d'Or ceremony. But thank you so much for joining me on the show. Thank you, Okpe. Thank you, Mr. Onyeuchi. But before we go, I need to say this about the Ballon d'Or. We've got a fascinating story from football history and fascinating nugget from the history. In 64 years of Ballon d'Or awards, only one goalkeeper has ever claimed it. The legendary Lev Yashin from the Soviet Union in 1963, known as the Black Spider for his incredible reflexes and his signature dark jersey. Yashin wasn't just a goalkeeper, he was a game changer with over 150 penalty saves and a legacy that brought Olympic gold and a Euro title. He is truly one of a kind. The Russian died in 1990, and to show honor, FIFA Golden Glove Award was introduced as the Lev Yashin Award in 1994. In 2010, the name was rechristened, while in 2019, France Football named the trophy after his name, Yashin Trophy. That year, Brazilian Alison Becker won that award. Today, Left Impact lives all through for the Yashin Trophy, also known as the Goalkeeper's Ballon d'Or. All right, if you don't know that, you know that right now. Oh, we call it a wrap on the show. I am Onyinyechi Obaro. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of Game On. Good night.